Find R and D given C or A. Sounds like a secret code, but really you're going to be able to find the radius or the diameter if I give you the circumference or if I give you the area. So you're kind of going to be able to work backwards just by using the formula. So let's start by agreeing we're going to use pi equals 3.14 for these notes. Okay. All right, so here's the kind of problem you would get. Let's say if the circumference is, we'll say, 244.92 inches. That means all the way around the circle is 244.92 inches. What is the diameter? So I just told you all the way around, right, is 244.92, all the way around. And you have to tell me how far across the circle is with the diameter. It's pretty impossible unless you use the formula, right? So if they give you circumference, start by writing the circumference formula. And now we're going to do what we always do in geometry: formula, substitution, answer with units. So there's the formula. Now let's sub in what we know. We know the circumference is 244.92. That's going to go here under the C. Under the C. Under the C. I won't sing on tape. Pi is 3.14. I don't know the diameter, so I rewrite the letter D. Now, how would you solve for D? You would just divide. So divide by the 3.14, cross it off, put that in your calculator, and you get 78. Now what is that? That is a distance, so that will be 78 inches. And there you go. All right, so it's all about using the formula and then go from there. Let's try another one. Let's say if the circumference is 109.9 meters, find the radius. Now, I know our formula doesn't have radius in it, but once you know the diameter, do you know how to get the radius? Yeah, it's just half as much. So you're going to use the same process here, but then have an extra step at the end. So C equals pi times D. Circumference is 109. Put it under the C. Pi is 3.14. I don't know D. I'm going to divide. And it looks like I get 35. So if 35 is the diameter, which would be all the way across, cut that in half, right? Half of 35, 17 and a half would be the radius. And you're done. Good. All right, now let's try one if I give you the area, because that has a different formula. We're going to have to do a little something different. So let's say the area is 379.94 feet squared, and I ask you to find the radius. Okay, so now you know there's 379 squares on the inside of the circle, and you have to find the radius. Again, impossible unless you know the formula, which we do. Area equals pi r squared. Now let's fill in what we know. We know the area, so that's going to go here. We're still using 3.14 for pi. I don't know r, so I'm going to leave it. So it's going to stay r squared. Now we're going to start solving the same way. I'm still going to divide by 3.14. but that gets crossed off. R squared is what's left. And it looks like this divides to 121. Now, R squared is equal to 121, so something times itself equals 121. If you know that answer, you know it. Or we can kind of undo this. Now, what's the, you know how when this was multiplying, we did the opposite? We divided? What's the opposite of squaring something? Turns out it is the square root is the opposite. So we're going to take the square root of that side. That will knock it down to R. Whatever we do to this side, we have to do over here. So we have to find the square root of 121. Now, the way you type this in, let me just put a star here, is you hit second on your calculator, and then you find, now second means you don't use the, well, when you hit the button, it doesn't mean the button that you hit, it means what's above it. So when you hit second, and you want that symbol, the square root symbol, it's above the x squared key. So you're going to hit second and then x squared key, because you'll get that. Then type in the 121, hit equals, and you should get 11, because 11 times 11 is 121. And what did we just find? The radius, so that's a distance, that'll just be feet. Okay? All right, try one area one on your own, and that will be it. All right. Oh, I'm stuck here. Okay. All right, so last one, number 4. Let's say if the area is 113.04 inches squared, what is the circumference? Ooh, I was kind of mean. Well, you need this formula to start, and then you need to find the circumference. So I guess, what do you need to find the circumference? You need the diameter. Once you solve this, will you know the diameter? Yeah. Let's do it together. So the area is 113.04. Pi is 3.14. I don't know R. What do we do first? We're going to divide by the 3.14. And I'm getting 36 once I divide that. How do we undo the squared? We're going to take the square root. So the radius is 6. Now let's find the circumference. Pi is 3.14. If the radius is 6, what am I going to put in for the diameter? Remember what this looks like. Radius is 6. The diameter is all the way across. So the diameter is actually 12. Okay. Type that in, 3.14 times 12, and you'll get your answer. What is the circumference? It's the distance around the outside. So that would be measured in inches. Nice. Good job, guys.